and happy Hanukkah. I was so excited about Hanukkah that I knew exactly what we needed to do today, and I'm so excited to do an experiment with you. So I was thinking about Hanukkah, and I was thinking about everybody knows that Hanukkah is the festival of lights. It's all about putting candles in your menorah and lighting them with fire, and then watching them glow and burn all the way down. So the more I thought about candles and fire and your menorah, I wanted to do an experiment with you. So fire needs a few things so that it will continue to burn. Kind of like the fireplace behind me. If you want that fire to keep burning and burning and burning, that fire needs some things to keep burning. So I thought we'd do an experiment to see what that fire needs to stay lit. So I have how many candles here? Can you guys help me count? 1, 2, 3. I have 3 candles. So we're going to do 3 different experiments today. I have a very, very little candle, and then I have 2 candles that are exactly the same height. We're going to start with the little candle. I'm going to light it, and we're just going to let it go, and we're going to watch and see what happens to it, okay? Because that's what an experiment is, right? It's watching to see what happens to something. So I have my lighter, which I'm pretty sure you guys know at home can only be used by a grown-up. If you said grown-up, you're right on the nose. Only a grown-up should ever use a lighter. It's not for kids, right? You guys don't want to play or touch with fire. Remember when we were doing our fire safety unit at school and we talked about 911 and stop, drop, and roll? Fire can be really dangerous. So only grown-ups are allowed to handle it or touch it and help you with it. So I'm gonna light this. I'm a grown-up, so don't worry about it. I'm gonna light this candle and we're just gonna let it go. It's lit, and we're just gonna watch and see what happens. While that candle is burning, we're gonna work with these other 2 candles. So one of the things that fire needs to keep burning and burning and burning, it needs air. Where do you guys find air? I can't hear you. If you said air is all around you and what you breathe every day, all day long, you are right on the nose. Take a deep breath. That's air. You're breathing it right now. Well, just like you need air to live, so does fire. If fire doesn't have air, it can't keep burning. So I'm gonna light this blue candle here, and we're gonna see what happens when we take away the air. So my candle is burning, right? It's totally on fire. So that must mean it has lots of air. It's got lots of oxygen. But what do you think is going to happen if I put this jar on the top of it? Do you think it will still have air and it will still be able to keep burning? Or do you think it won't have air and it will stop burning? Should we watch and see what happens? Let's do it. Guys, what's happening to the flame? Do you see it? It went out. When I put that jar on the top, it took all the oxygen out. It took all the air, and that fire couldn't breathe. So that fire couldn't keep burning. It didn't have enough air. So it's kind of like if you have a campfire or bonfire at your house or maybe up north, and maybe when you don't want it to keep burning anymore, maybe a grown-up will put some sand on top of it or some dirt on top of it. It's taking away all of the fire's air, and that fire can't breathe anymore, so that fire will go out. So that's a pretty cool experiment, huh? All right, now for this yellow candle, I'm gonna light it. So it's burning, it has lots of oxygen, it has lots of air. We're not gonna take away that oxygen right now, but what's another way if you wanted to put the fire out? What could you do? What do firefighters do when they wanna put a fire out? If you said that they spray water on the fire, you are right. Another way to get rid of fire is to put water on it. So I'm just gonna take some water that I have in my bowl and I'm gonna sprinkle it on top of our candle and see what happens. But do firefighters sprinkle water on top of fire? No, they use a big hose and they spray lots of water on that fire to make that fire go out. So that's another way that you could put the fire out. Ooh, I might just have to drop that right on it. Oh, what happened, guys? Did the fire go out? It did. The water took the fire right out because it cooled it down. That fire needs heat to keep burning, and I took the heat away. I put some water on it and I cooled it right down. Isn't that cool? And remember this one where we took the oxygen away? That's kind of like what we learned when we were learning about fire safety. We were learning stop, drop, and roll. Remember, if there's ever fire on your clothes, you don't want to keep running and running and running with that fire on your clothes because you're giving it air and oxygen. But if you stop, drop, and roll, you're putting the fire out by taking all that oxygen away. So now we're down to our very last little tiny little bitty candle, and it's working its way all the way down. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Another thing a candle needs is fuel. It needs to be able to keep burning. That's why when you're making a campfire at home, you keep adding wood to it, right? That's giving it fuel. It's going to keep burning. Or you put leaves on it. That's going to make it keep burning. And if you have a big candle, it could burn for a long time in your menorah, right? But when that candle gets smaller and smaller and smaller, all of a sudden the flame goes out because you're taking away its fuel. It doesn't have anywhere else to burn. So that candle isn't going to burn for too much longer because it's getting really small. Kind of like when you have candles on your menorah, eventually they're all gone and the flame goes out, right? So when you guys light your menorah again tonight, I want you to watch your candle go down until the flame goes down because its fuel is going away, right? And it won't be able to burn anymore. So wasn't that kind of a cool experiment? Watching the flames go out of these candles. This one's still burning. It's probably gonna burn for a little bit longer because it's got a little bit more of a candle to it. But once that candle's gone, it'll go out too. I had a really fun time doing these experiments with you guys today. You guys can do these experiments at home, but only with a grown-up. Good job, guys. Be safe, okay? Always be safe. All right, have a great night. Happy Hanukkah. Bye.